Welcome to episode number 154 of Genius Take the Wheel. It is a pleasant Saturday afternoon, and I'm feeling pretty good, y'all. All right, so if you're watching later as part of the replay gang, I salute you. Thank you so much for continuing to support what I do on this channel. So yeah, grateful for the good days. Today was definitely one of them. I've been going through some pretty uncomfortable uh, neurological issues. The car guy, how you doing? How you doing, man? I've been going through some pretty bad pain. Hey, there's an Aston Martin right there. I can't tell which Aston Martin it is, but it is might be like a DB9. Taillights look early 2010s. Um, yeah, I've been having some pretty bad neurological pain for the last 3 months or so, running down my right leg. And I thought that there was probably something wrong with my back. And I had to do a little bit of research. Traditionalist, what's up? Um, and I realized going into my set, going into the gym on Thursday, that my issues are not in my back. So I've been having a sciatic nerve issue for a long time. I thought it would just go away, and it did not. And I started to really get scared that maybe I did some actual serious damage to my back. And I did a Google search and was looking at all of these symptoms, but then I realized, wait a minute, I'm missing one of the biggest symptoms of all. I don't have any back pain. What does that mean? And then I went and looked down all of the probable causes, and I was like, that's right. I have been suffering. I had been, prior to the nerve issue in my leg, I had a tight glute. And I realized, damn it, it's probably the piriformis. And that was on the list of possible causes for this nerve issue. And so I started trying to loosen it up a little bit here and there since Thursday, and the pain has not been nearly as intense. It has not prevented me from moving. And for the first time in a little while, I've been able to produce some really good force and really just focus on how difficult the pain or how difficult the assignment of moving the heavy weight is. I can focus on that and not worry about, oh my God, this pain going down my leg. Oh my God, my ankle. What is this feeling in my ankle? Will I be able to be stable enough because my right leg does not want to cooperate? And I had all of these fears. And traditionally says, imagine having a healthcare care system that allows you to get adequate professional diagnosis and help without breaking the bank. Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I refuse to go. But, I've had to self-diagnose a lot, and it helps because I do have professional expertise in, I do have professional expertise. These people are idiots. What the fuck are you looking at me for? They're crossing against the light and they're looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. Can't stand people. Anyway, hit the like button before I lose my mind. So, because I have professional expertise in this area, I was able to kind of go through my troubleshooting methodology and then figure out, oh, it's not really a problem with my lumbar spine, is actually probably inflammation of the piriformis. And then I confirmed it with some stretches, and my back feels great. My quad feels so much better. My hamstring feels better. Everything just feels better. Now I'm not 100%, but I just feel so much better. And so today, I was either going to do 5 sets in a deadlift or 5 sets on the squat. I chose the squat. JL, what's up, man? We got, I don't want to say too much, but we got a little bit of a TSP surprise for you. I need me the M2 competition. Honestly, man, I'm just gonna be real with you, the car guy. The BMW 230i is going to the 230i is all you need in that BMW 2 Series coupe type of situation. I know that M2 competition sounds sexy and all of that, but wow, this guy doesn't understand that that's not a lane. These people are idiots. Yeah, so the S55 engine, yes, it is better. But as far as your overall enjoyment and excitement of the vehicle, you'll get a way better bang for your buck with the 230i or the M240i than you would get from the M2 competition. You would probably get the most fun. The sweet spot is probably the M240i or the M2. You don't need the competition. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me. And it's so much cheaper. Basically, the M2 competition strips out a bunch of creature comforts for daily driving and then charges you more money. But anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. So I decided to do 5 sets of 3 on the squat, and I did have the help of a spotter. He did not help me up, but he did help me kind of keep my composure when I was starting to get really tired. So I was able to do 5 sets of 3 at 245 in the squat. And then I did 2 sets of 12 at 365 on the leg press. And then I did 3 sets of 5 at 315 on the deadlift. And then, no, before I did the deadlift, I did 3 sets of 5 at 170 on the leg curl. And then I did the deadlift, 3 sets of 5 at 315, same as last week. And then I did 5 sets of 5 at 205 on the leg extension, which is 2 more sets than last week. So our book ended with more work than last week, 40% more squat, 40% more leg extension, and things worked out pretty nicely overall. So I'm very, very happy with today. I was going to try to bench press today, but I'm also supposed to bench press pretty heavy. So I'm going to just save it tomorrow. Either I was going to do 5 sets of 3 at 245 on the bench press, but if I can't get a spotter tomorrow morning, I'm going to try to do maybe sets of 3 at 115 or 120 on the dumbbell chest press. Probably 115 for safety. And if I get like 5 sets of 3 there, I'll probably feel like, my cock is bigger. and then I'll do some ancillary work, maybe with 85s, 80 or 85s with the dumbbells for reps, and some titty clappers, and maybe some decline press or fly. I might do that tomorrow. Normally, I just go to my apartment gym to do chest, but I might just drive to the gym tomorrow morning. So if I do drive to the gym in the morning tomorrow, you'll get a bonus episode of Genius Take the Wheel tomorrow morning. On TSP, you guys might get a little something special today, so um, definitely check that out. Let's read some comments. But honestly, your mindset is admiring. Not many people deal with chronic pains that keep up their workout routine, and with that, their general health. Yeah, it was hard to do. How much is the M2 competition? The M2 competition starts to get into M4 territory, like regular M4. Um, it's just to get that badge under the M badge. It's just not for the actual enjoyment of the vehicle. It's just not worth it. Um, I'll tell you the dream cars. I've been doing lat pull downs more often now. Man, they are one of my favorite exercises. Dude, I've been doing weighted pull ups, y'all. I'm so stoked. I did 5 sets of five with a 45-pound kettlebell hanging from my waist. That shit was hard as hell. I was so happy. I was like, I'm gonna murder this shit. Very happy with the lat pull downs. And then I did lat pull downs after that. Yeah, I'm so happy. Mrs. Eva was telling me that not only do I have more mass in my upper back, but I also have more separation. I have more definition in my back. So I'm really, really happy. Um, what are the with the chains? I used a kettlebell. I used a kettlebell, and a 45-pound kettlebell is about 20 kilograms. By the way. Um, so yeah, the car guy asked about the dream cars. I know I have talked about this in the past, but I'm going to indulge the car guy because he's kind of patiently waited for me to have more car related. And I was just thinking about this the other day, the car guy, because I'm like, why is this guy so adamant? Why is he so like? Because there's certain things that I want to talk about, and he just wants to talk about cars all the time. And it's like, okay, I get it. You're the car guy. And then I realize it. The title of the stream is Genius Take the Wheel. I only did that because I'm doing the streams in the car. But this is more of like a fitness type of deal. But so my dream cars. Let's get into it a little bit. The Porsche Boxster 4S is way, way up there. One of the ones that I tried to get during the pandemic, but they wanted a $5,000 down payment and a $2,000 a month lease. I wanted the 25th anniversary Boxster, but they wanted way too much money for it, and so I got the Z4 instead. But the Porsche Boxster is definitely one of them. I have to say this as well, y'all, because I've never been a Cayman guy. The Porsche 718 Cayman GT4 RS, it really is rising up the ranks as far as the vehicles that I'm really starting to like. But the thing is that one of the things that I've noticed is that people are not loving that vehicle the way that they used to. That's one of the things that I've noticed. They don't really, and a lot of people that were like, "Oh my God, this is like the greatest driver's sports car of all time," and now you don't hear anybody talking about the 2023 718 Cayman GT4 RS. with the Weissach package. You're not, and I remember people, the Porsche dealerships were charging 2x the price, twice the sticker price, and people were buying it. Um, so I have to say the Boxster is probably number two. The Cayman is like really starting to look sexier to me. And one of the reasons why I think I like the Cayman now more than in previous years is because the Cayman of today is the size of the 911 of yesterday, but it has the mid-engine dynamics. And I think that really appeals to me. But I really love the top-down life, which is why the Boxster is always going to be above the Cayman to me. But that hard top coupe is not as to me as it was in the past. Let me turn on my. I need to turn on my. It's starting to get kind of stuffy in here. But number one to me is still the Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider in that electric green press car color. It's still number one, dude. If you want to switch, if you want to get in the lane, use your goddamn turn signal. Don't talk to him. Use your fucking turn signal. People are so stupid, and you wonder why the guy doesn't want to let him in. Good God. Let me see. I've been doing, yep, like pull downs, chains as well. Yep. Yeah. BMW M2 40i, Lexus LFA, Vulcan Passat wagon, Lamborghini Urus Mansory, okay, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter Brabus. Oh, so that's that ultra luxury, like you can put Xboxes and PlayStations and big screen TVs and sound deadening so that your driver can't hear your conversations. It's got, you probably get like a convertible bed so you can bump uglies. There's plenty of space to get some good dome. Yeah, I can definitely see that. What else? W12 C63 AMG. I didn't know they had a W12 for that. No V8. No, the Mercedes-Benz W12. I don't know if they make that anymore. 718 7 Ford Mustang GT 500. That's a good one. Dodge Challenger Demon 170. Okay. I don't. American cars don't really appeal to me. I realize that a lot of the cars that I'm willing to consider are German. I don't really like the Japanese brands or the Korean brands. Sorry, Joy Walking is nothing personal. It's just not my thing. Seditionalist says Carrera GT, a Diablo SV, Nissan R34. Yeah, those are good ones. Those are classics. So you're like late 90s. I wonder how old you are, Seditionalist, because you got to be like my age or older with those. Um, Bugatti Veyron, W. No, it's a W12. There's no W18. Midmo, how you doing, Midmo? You're born. So you're younger than me. You're younger than me. Wow. Wow. I thought you were about as old as me. I was born in '83. All right. So yeah. When it comes to other cars that I would not mind being seen in driving, I do like the McLarens a little bit. I don't really care for the Bugattis very much. It's not really my thing. The Koenigsegg is kind of cool. There's a couple of them that I think are pretty cool. Um, I mean, these are like the sports car stuff. When it comes to luxury SUVs, um, I do like. I think the Rolls-Royce Cullinan is just has so much presence. I know it's not that special, but I love the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. Um, the Urus is just a little too ugly for me, and it's too close to a Volkswagen Atlas for my liking, personally. Um, the Porsche Cayenne's okay, but I really like the Mercedes G-Wagon when it comes to SUVs. Um, these days, when it comes to like small SUVs, I like the Macan. I like the X1. The current generation BMW X1, even if it's not fast and exciting, I don't know, it's calling me. It's definitely calling me. Yeah, the Chiron has a W18. I thought it was a W16. I thought that was a W16. I'd have to. You said 1999 though. All right, so the car guy's like, "Oh my God, we're disrespecting Volkswagen." Here's the deal, the car guy, because this is one of the things that really grinds my gears about Volkswagen Auto Group, right? The VW Atlas, the Audi Q7, the Porsche Cayenne, the Lamborghini Urus, and I think there's another one in there that I'm missing. They're all built on they're all built on the same platform. So basically, when you get one of these vehicles, you are getting a certain percentage of whatever the top vehicle is. So let's say we're talking about the Lamborghini Urus, right? It's an SUV. Most people are not taking it off road. I think we can agree to that. Oh, the Bentley Bentayga. So you have the Bentley Bentayga and the Lamborghini Urus. The Bentayga is supposed to be like the wafty, super luxury version of the Urus. They're built on the same fucking platform. They're like the same vehicle. So when you start doing the math, is a Porsche Cayenne, which is one third of the price of the Lamborghini Urus, one half to one third of the price. Is the Lamborghini Urus twice or three times as good as the Porsche Cayenne? The answer is no. The Atlas is like what, a $45,000 vehicle, somewhere, something like that. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is the VW Atlas 1/7 of the experience of the Lamborghini Urus or the Bentley Bentayga? The answer is no. So, from a value perspective, the Lamborghini Urus falls way, way behind because you're basically just paying for the nameplate for the most part. If I wanted a great luxury experience and hear a nice sound from the engine, the sweet spot is the Porsche Cayenne. That's your sweet spot. That is the best bang for your buck when you're talking about the VAG, uh, Volkswagen Auto Group's offerings, where the Atlas, the Q7, the Cayenne, the Urus, and the Bentayga are all built on the same goddamn platform. They just use the upholstery is a little bit different, and they use different versions of the same engine. And then I live in New York City where obviously it's been 5 minutes and I've moved 2 blocks. There's not really a whole draw to spend $250,000 on an Urus when it's shaped really ugly. It looks like a cockroach. So I would prefer the Bentayga, but then the Bentayga looks a little bit like the SUV version of a Dodge Challenger. The Porsche Cayenne is where it's at. That's where your value is. So I would rather get a Porsche Cayenne or an Audi Q7 before I get an Urus or a Bentayga. Now, if somebody gave it to me for free, I'm driving that bitch, right? But I'm talking about bang for your buck. I'm choosing the Cayenne. Yeah, I know dream cars aren't about the value for the money, but I'm talking about SUVs. SUVs don't really don't really factor as dream cars. I don't think anybody really dreams of SUVs. I think that people like to have the panache of an upper level SUV like a G-Wagon or an Urus or a Bentayga or a Cullinan. But nobody hangs any of those vehicles up on the wall. Obviously, when it comes to like Halo cars, like I said, Lamborghini Huracan Evo Spider is still number one for me. Um, but then there's the Boxster, there's the Cayman, and then the 911 convertible is probably behind that one for me. Um, so yeah, when it comes to like dream cars, like you know, uh, obviously the car that I would want would be the Lamborghini Huracan Evo more than all the others. Um, Ferrari just doesn't really make the list for me, mainly because of like how they treat people. I just don't like the way they treat people as prospective customers. So, I look at the Ferraris all the time and having the prancing horse, yeah, there's a little bit of badge snobbery that kind of goes with that. But um, the Ferraris really don't rate for me as like cars that like wow, like I look at it and I salivate over them. Would I graciously accept one from someone or from Ferrari? Yes, I would accept it graciously and say thank you. But it doesn't really make my list of dream cars. DEG in a GL 500. They don't call it GL. They just call it G 550. I don't even think they sell the 500 anymore. It's the 550 or the G63. I think those are really the only two. I think those are really the only two. There is no UFC Midmo, but you should stay tuned anyway. Stay tuned anyway. First you went from talking about nice cars, then disrespecting my dream family car. Um, um, yeah. So again, I'm not saying that the Urus is a bad vehicle. What I'm saying is, when you look at the value for the dollar, the Urus is not where it's at. The Porsche is where it's at. The Porsche is right there in the middle when it comes to cost, but the Porsche Cayenne is like 85 to 90% of the experience of the Urus. And it's like 40% the cost on average. The Audi, Q7 is the boring looking version of the Urus, but I would rather have an Audi Q7 than an Urus for the money. If money was no object and somebody gave me an Urus for free, I would drive it in Eco Pro mode. whatever their eco mode is, because I don't want to be getting 8 miles a gallon. Wow, this traffic is really bad. I'm glad that I don't have. I'm glad I don't have um, work to get to right now. Um, but yeah, yeah. This traffic is horrible today. Um, Lamborghini Urus is not an off-road car. It's a fast SUV meant for the roads. And that's another reason why I don't want the Urus. I would be paying a whole lot for fuel for what? Right now, I'm traveling at 0 miles an hour. Like, it's just the Urus, I don't need, and that's another reason I was thinking to myself, if I was to get the BMW X1, should I get the X1 uh M1 the M 35, or should I just get the 28? And the more I think about it, just give me the 28, because I'm not that aggressive a driver to begin with. And if I'm driving that vehicle, most times I'm transporting myself in heavy traffic, or I'm transporting the lady somewhere, or Mrs. Evil is driving the car. She's not a speed demon, right? We're super safe drivers. And so I'm thinking more in practical terms when it comes to the SUV. Now, for the sports car, I want the most sports car I can afford. That's just what it is, right? So in that way, I agree with you, car guy. I'm just saying that the M2 competition is not worth the crazy high price spike that they're going to charge for it. The regular M2 is just good enough, and it's at a great price. I think the M2's price is really really good. Um, I think it's really good. The price of the regular M2, and you're already getting almost 500 horsepower. You don't need an extra, 8 horsepower with the door handles taken off and uncomfortable seats in order to enjoy it for like thousands of dollars more. You don't need that. Get the 28 and spend the money on the interior creature. Exactly. That's the way to do it. We're going to make sure that, the technology is good in the vehicle, that the ride quality is as good as I can get for the money. But we're not going to do like a whole bunch of like crazy, like, what it, cosmetic stuff. We just need a nice car that is going to be reliable for the 3 years that we're leasing it. You know, that's all we need. That's all we need. Um, and then I can get like a really nice sports car, because I'm not even gonna front. Like, part of it is the ego. You want to be, even when you're in traffic, you want to make sure that you're in a nice car and people see you in a nice car. But the X1 is plenty good enough for me, especially because the X1 looks so much better than it used to. It's so attractive. The X2 is an ugly car. The X4 is ugly. The X6 is ugly. The C3, what is it? The GLC coupe is ugly. The GLE coupe is ugly. Ugh, awful.
Like, bro, you and Mrs. Evil are disrespecting the Volkswagen Passat wagon. Why? Yeah, 'cause it's old and slow. It's a good first car, 130 horsepower. It's a good car. I'm not saying that it's not a good car. It's just not.
Yeah, I prefer the luxury cars. So it's not disrespecting the car. It's just not what I'm interested in. It's not what I want. And it's weird. You keep saying good first car. This SUV I'm sitting in is the third vehicle that I've had. Um, I had my first car that I ever had was a BMW X5. My second was a GLE 350 Mercedes. This one is the GLE 450 Mercedes, and I got a BMW Z4. So I've gone BMW, Mercedes, Mercedes, BMW. Dude, unless the economy tanked so bad that I had to, I can only afford a $300 a month lease payment, and I needed to stay off of public transportation for some reason, and I just absolutely could not get around it. And I had to sit on cloth seats with plastic all in the interior. Then I would have to, you know, consider, a small Volkswagen SUV. But when it comes to Volkswagen, well, what am I considering? I'm considering the Audi Q5 or the SQ5. So that's the closest that I'm going to get to just a regular Volkswagen. It's probably going to be an Audi. There's going to be an Audi Q3, a Q5, an SQ5, something like that.
So, so this one says it has all the modern features you would want: comfortable seats with enough leg space, enough horses for everyday traffic, and still allows 500 miles on a tank. Yeah. Oh, you got a new job again. Wow. Oh, you're talking about the Suzuki Swift. Um,
So tell me about the new job, Midmo, because I'm stuck in this traffic for a really long time. In fact, I hope Mrs. Evil is watching because, yeah, I've been stuck here. I haven't even reached the halfway. No, I'm only halfway home, and it's already taken 38 minutes to get to this point. Um, yeah, not loving that. Oh, there goes Mrs. Evil. Mrs. Evil, I want to let you know that I am not even to the Intrepid warship yet. And I've been doing this stream for almost 40 minutes. I've been stuck on this patch of road probably the last 7, 8 blocks, and it's been like 25 minutes. So
maybe I shouldn't drive tomorrow. You might have to think about it.
might have to think about it because this is starting to get kind of egregious. Um, but yeah, um, Mrs. Evil, I never thought to ask you this question, but we're gonna give you the same question that the car guy proposed before he abrupt left. I don't know what it is. Like he believes everybody should want to drive a Volkswagen Passat. Like I don't understand why he thinks that everybody should desire that car. Um, but I'm over here talking about like Lamborghinis and G wagons. Oh, you should want a Passat. Uh, Obviously, if I'm talking about you know luxury vehicles, I'm not looking to drive an uncomfortable car with a bunch of plastic everywhere. I don't understand why anybody would think that. I would want to drive an uncomfortable car or a less comfortable car if I'm looking at comfortable cars. But it is what it is. He's a little persnickety. But we're gonna pose the question to you, Mrs. Evil. Dream cars. Money is no option. Money is no option. What would you like for real, like, wow, if I could have any car or number of cars, like what would you choose?
In my opinion, the difference between a Passat and a Golf is that a Passat has less available parking spaces. Yeah,
A Volkswagen Golf is okay. It's a cool looking little thing. Um, it's not what I'm interested in. I know people are like really interested in like STIs and like Subarus and stuff like that. Not for me. Not for me. I know that my guy JD loves, Ford Mustangs. Not for me. Some guys like overweight and obese women. Not for me. So, it's not disrespect because I don't want what you want. It's just that what's good for you is not good for me.
the smaller, older Audi that Jason Statham would drive in a movie is cool. Or the bug-eyed Porsche.
So yeah, you want the 911. So you like kind of like you like the cars that you've seen do really cool stuff in movies. That's what I'm thinking that you like. But yeah, the 911 is I think it's like fourth or fifth on my list of cars that I would really, really want. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I put the 718s above the 911s. Um, but yeah, that's actually a nice choice there. Um, yeah. I just wish the Cayenne was a better looking SUV, design language wise. I just wish it was better looking. I would put the Cayenne higher on the list uh, if it was better looking. The Macan is not ugly, but it's lacking in design language to me as far as like the appeal to the eye. Oh man. Oh, the 944. Yeah, RIP dads that we've lost, man.
I'm looking at some photos online. The more bug-eyed the car looks, the better.
Yeah, you also like really ugly dogs too. So now I'm starting to think, is the 911 ugly and that's why you like it?
I'm not even considering performance. I just like the way.
Yeah, Mrs. Evil is really more of a is the design language appealing to the eye? That's really her big deal, and I agree. I definitely do agree. And that's another reason why I would choose an X1 that's not a performance model because I mean, we drive super relaxed anyway. Even when I, drive in the left lane and I go certain speeds, I still don't go unreasonable speeds. So, yeah, I think I would just go with the cheapest model and then see what kind of options they will allow us to have. See, the thing is, the cheapest model, X1, might not have the heads up display. Oh, Mrs. Evil is talking about Larry. Do you think that um, Drew McIntyre would just kick his dog? Seditionalist says pugs are animal abuse. I've been hearing a lot about certain breeds and like the way that they continue to breed dogs for certain traits actually makes the dog's life like miserable to live. I will say the one below luxury level car that I would really seriously consider is a Mazda. The Mazdas seem to be highly rated. Yeah, Midmo, you can tell, right? She loves ugly ass dogs. Thank you guys for hanging out with me during this insane traffic. Oh my God. It has now been about 10 minutes to go one block. This is insane.
I'll be working at a brass casing factory helping solve the ammo shortage issue. Seriously, don't do pugs if you care. Start Monday.
Okay. Are you gonna learn more about guns, or do you already know so much about guns that you're not really going to be learning all of that much? And judging by the mass violence that we've been seeing in this country with guns, I don't know if we have an ammo shortage. It seems like people are doing just fine getting access to ammo. But what do I know?
I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me here today. I know plenty about guns, but this will be oriented more toward ammo and creating the casings. All right. Guns don't kill people, bullets do.
That's good. That's good, Seditious. I like that. That's good.
Okay, if you are looking for certain handgun loads to shoot, a lot are out of stock.
That's why people are taking AR-15s to school. Guns don't kill people, but they sure help. Yo, guys, I'm glad you guys brought that up. Mrs. Evil can attest to this. I go through these waves of binging this YouTube channel called Lockdown 23 and 1. And the YouTuber, I'm actually pretty proud of who he has become because he used to be in and out of prison. And he's got this YouTube channel and he has really refined his approach to content creation and really improved it. And I just think that it's really um, awesome, like what he's doing. Um, the dude has over 800,000 subscribers, and um, I just think that it's really, really cool or what he's doing. Um, um, yeah. And he kind of like, reviews stuff that's going on in the courtroom or in prisons and jails and things of that nature. Um, you know, his content has just gotten like um, really, really, really good. So it's not lookout, it's not lockout, it's lockdown, lockdown 23 and 1. And what that basically is referring to is the when the prison goes on lockdown, everybody is locked in their cell for 23 hours a day and only allowed out of their cell for 1 hour. Sometimes when they go on lockdown, like people will be allowed out of their cells for an hour only maybe 2 or 3 times in a week. That'll happen sometimes when there's an issue with rampant contraband or violence, um, riots, gang activity, someone. Yeah, lockdown 23 and 1. Yeah, exactly. Definitely. And I've kind of been binging it a lot, and you see people getting sentenced for like really crazy crimes, and you look at like how some of those people approach the sentencing, like there's like a whole range of different emotions and stuff of like, and there's so many things you can go to prison for, I realize. Like, we don't really think about it like that because like, you know, yeah, we don't really think about it like that because like a lot of us are not. I would hope that the most of us would never see the inside of a courtroom. But you see like how people are living out there in the world and the mindsets that they employ. Like, and people, get involved in so many messed up things. And then when they're called to account for it, like they're begging for mercy. And it's like, did you give anybody mercy when you were doing what you were doing? Midmo says there are more ways to go to prison than staying out. That's true. But that also means that like it's very simple way of living. You don't need to do a lot of crazy things. Just do things that benefit you that don't harm other people. And for the most part, you'll be good. But there was one story that I really disagreed with how the state of Ohio handled it. And you guys tell me, because I was talking to Mrs. Evil about it last night. This one woman, um, I have to be very careful with the words I use because, YouTube is YouTube. But this woman, she had a daughter, and for years she was doing bad things to her daughter. And the belief is that she did these bad things to her daughter, not necessarily because she hated the child, but because she hated the man that she had the child with. So she wanted to hurt him by torturing the child. So here's what ends up happening. She struck the child a bunch of times in an abusive way, starved and neglected the child to the point where what the prosecutor said that the girl's knee joint had a wider circumference than her thighs. So think of knees that are wider in diameter than the actual thigh. And then you can see what kind of torturous abuse to put the young girl under. The young girl passed away at the age of 4 because of the abuse from the mother. Now, people were trying, well, the father of the child was trying really hard in court to get custody of the child. And they sent, children's services to go and investigate. So what they did was, what the woman did was she would clean the house and put food in the refrigerator so that when the inspectors came, she, dressed the girl up nicely, made sure that the girl was clean, made sure there was food in the refrigerator, not necessarily giving the small child the food, but made sure that there was food in the refrigerator and cleaned up the house in preparation for the visit. Only for the visit. And I feel the need that I have to reiterate this point. It was not that, when the visitors were coming to the house to inspect, that she gave the child more food. No, she didn't give the child any of the food, right? Instead, she just made sure that it was in the refrigerator to make it look like she was a competent mother. And it was very clear that she wasn't. And if she was competent, she purposely withheld her competence as a way to harm her ex-boyfriend, right? So um the so basically she ran a scam, and the people who were tasked with investigating really didn't care um to like really think about what they were inspecting. So they kept, the judge kept denying the father custody. The judge kept denying the father custody. The woman wanted to keep the man from having custody because she wanted to continue to control him um, and his emotions by torturing his daughter, their daughter. They were not together anymore. It's one of those situations where, oh, if you don't want me, then I'll just try to make your life a living hell through, in this case, she wanted him to feel pain through the pain of the child. And the child passed away at the age of 4. Now, here's the thing that really messed me up. The mother and her boyfriend were charged with the murder of the child. That part I could not understand. Now, I would have been like, maybe something, he would be at fault if he lived there. But apparently, the guy that she called her boyfriend, from what I could see, really their relationship was he would come over and clap the cheeks every now and again and go home. And after the girl died, they charged him with the girl's murder, and he did nothing to the child. He was basically just clapping the cheeks of the abusive woman. Now, obviously, what kind of man would be like, but dudes are thirsty for pussy. Let's just be real. Dudes are thirsty, you know? She's this tiny, cute looking, light skinned black woman. He wanted to clap the cheeks. Now, if he lived in the house, I could definitely say, yo, you let this happen on your watch, in your residence. Yeah, you gotta take some responsibility. But they sentenced the man to 20 to life. They gave the man a life sentence for a girl he did not actually abuse, basically because he was fucking the woman that was abusing her. That's crazy to me. And people want to be like, oh, but he did nothing. and she had a stroke. The dude didn't even live there. He was just busting the cheeks. Like if he sexually assaulted the girl, throw him under the jail. If he punched the girl or kind of jumped in or he watched the abuse of the child or whatever, all right, cool. Like lock him away, throw away the key, the whole bit. But the dude did not live there. So you wanted him to be responsible for the safety of that child that's not his when he only went there to visit to clap the cheeks, right? But then all the other people who were tasked with seeing that she was safe, mainly the Child Protective Services people, the judge in the family court system, none of those people get a life sentence when it is their profession to kind of seek out abuse and then take the child out of the abusive household. But you want the dude that's just there to clap cheeks. He's supposed to do something about the abuse, but not the actual Child Protective Services? That's crazy to me. And they tried, and the way that people were like talking about him like he's the scum of the earth, he was like, even his lawyer was like, he did not see any of the abuse. He did not participate in any of the abuse. He was basically there to clap the cheeks. He went there to get some pussy and went home. So now we're giving out life sentences for dudes that are clapping up abusive women. To me, that's wild. And if you're going to give out jail sentences, how about we gives us a jail sentence to the family court judge who refused to let the father get custody of the child? With all of the evidence that is there, you refuse to let the husband get custody of the child. People were pretending like they didn't see the abuse that was readily apparent. All right, nobody's going to let me switch lanes. Oh, thank you. Thank you, guy. Good God. So the non-professional, I just the guy that is not tasked with knowing how to spot abuse, he doesn't interact with the child at all. He gets a life sentence. But all the people that were tasked when they found out the girl was being abused, all the professionals get to blame him. That's wild. I can't do it. I'm not a big fan of religion, but I do agree with the general message of do good, not bad. Pretending everything is hunky dory is easy if the inspection is scheduled. I speak from experience. So social services couldn't tell that the child was being emaciated and malnourished. Exactly. Shitty competence on the account of social services for however long the mother got away with it. As long as the inspector isn't willing to pull away the curtains. Yep. Kind of a crazy story. Have you heard? Yeah, the Gypsy Rose thing is another example. We talked about that on TSP. I did videos. If you want to go back in the TSP archives, I've already discussed the Gypsy Rose problem. And the thing is, when you look at the Gypsy Rose problem, it's so egregious, it's so nasty how she was able to manipulate the guy into killing her mother, and she's not in prison and he is. He got the life sentence and she's out married to another man. And everybody made her out to be like this crazy victim. Oh my God, oh my God. What about the guy, the mentally ill simp who couldn't get a woman, all of a sudden, at 3 out of 10, starts showing you some sort of attention, and to just keep her attention, the only thing you got to do is let her manipulate you into killing her mother. He's still in prison and she's not. That's crazy. Again, and this, another thing, I talk to you guys a lot about making good decisions when you deal with women. And this is definitely one of the reasons why, you know? Do you know what a stop sign is? Do you know what a stop sign is? Do you know what a stop sign is? Right. So let's sit here. Let's just sit here. Yeah. 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 You look real stupid. Yeah. Yeah. Idiot. Looking real stupid. Um, well, I've done enough milk without batting an eye at the child. In most cases, the kids weren't even there, or at least supposedly. Apparently, in the U.S., that can land me a life sentence. Yeah, 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 yeah. She actually married two different men. She married two different men since coming out of prison. So she's moved on with her life. She's gotten all this. She's gotten all of this, fame and fortune, and she's gotten all of this what they call sympathy. Woe is me, and she is just as manipulative and evil as her mother, but she's gotten all of this virtue through victimhood, and nobody gives a fuck about the guy that theoretically got her out of that situation with the mother. So they look at the woman as a hero victim and not even the guy that got her out of it. She was even too cowardly to kill her mother herself. That's crazy. And guys, again, you have to be very, 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 very careful. You have to be very, very careful about the choices that you make when you deal with women, because it does not matter if it's her fault. You will pay. It doesn't matter if you did nothing wrong. It doesn't matter. So, guys, if you want to be out there, telling women that you have to split dates 50-50, keep doing it. If you're out here telling women that if you're not going to be respectful, that I'm not going to deal with you, keep doing it. Because when push comes to shove, if anything goes wrong, whether it's your fault or not, it's on you. The criminal court system is not about justice. So she can be completely in the wrong. Now, to be fair, no, well, I can't even say to be fair. She did get life without the possibility of parole. And he got life with the possibility of parole after 20 years for clapping some cheeks. That's crazy. The woman that manipulated the guy into killing her mother got out before 10 years. He gets a life sentence. She testified against him. She is the one that coaxed him into committing the murder, and then and then she testified against him in court. She gets off with a slap on the wrist, comparatively speaking. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Absolutely nuts. Anyway, I'm up out of here. I need to eat food. I got things that I got to do. Um, I will definitely be seeing a lot of you on TSP in just a few minutes. So definitely stay tuned. I love you guys. Thank you for supporting. Also, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me during that. It took me over that stretch of road normally takes me about 13 minutes or less to get through, and that cost me over an hour. So we went, the ladies and I, we went to the baseball game a couple days ago, and the 38-minute drive lasted 2 hours. So having good company when stuck in heavy traffic is really important. So thank you guys for being that company for me today. And as always, if you believe yourself to be strong, you're absolutely correct because you've done the work to make that thought legitimate. And I salute you. Keep working hard. And I will see you on the next installment, which probably could be tomorrow, of Genius Take the Bill. Talk to you guys later. Peace.